down to South Park going.
Alright, I'm just going to get this off my chest from the start. I originally intended to do both South Park Stick of Truth and Fractured But Whole. Look, here's me showing the somewhat daunting trophy list from Stick of Truth, but honestly, I just got bored of the first one, so instead we're abandoning that and we're going straight into Fractured But Whole. It's my channel, I can do that. Hello and Happy New Year everyone. Here's hoping that 2023 is just not going to be like the other two, but we already know that that's probably not going to happen. Anyway, thank you again for joining us as we look at some more bad trophies. This time, as been mentioned before, we're looking at South Park's Fractured But Whole. If you're looking for a little bit more information about the game, then stick around, but if you just want to get straight into the trophies, click on this timestamp here. Fractured But Whole is the 2017 sequel to Ubisoft and South Park Digital Studios' South Park Stick of Truth. It continues the story of New Kid, but this time we're playing superheroes and have to stop Mitch McConnell from becoming mayor and increasing crime so that superheroes actually have more to do. That seems reasonably fair, I guess. With a whole new style of combat system to play with and more well-rounded, fleshed out experience in general than its predecessor, Fractured But Whole will leave you entertained for the entire time that you're hunting trophies. And what about those trophies, eh? Well, most of them are story related and the rest are mostly collectible in nature, so I've given it a look over, I've weighed the pros and cons, and I think at this time I've only managed to come up with 5 of the worst. But here they are, the 5 worst trophies in South Park Fractured But Whole. There's something that we need to talk about first before we get moving. Firstly, as always, this list is in no particular order, but we do leave the worst till last. And secondly, this is a South Park game. We're going to be doing some borderline offensive, definitely odd, just strange, weird things to be getting our trophies. But you and I both know that you've done worse. And with that in mind, number 1, Crappin Forte. Use every available toilet in South Park and achieve the highest mastery level for each. I did tell you it would be weird. This one's a collectible one. I mean, is it? I guess so. We're just going to go with that. It's a collectible one. Around the world are toilets that you can do your business on. And we've got a lot of business to do, as we're going to need to go on every single one of them. Attached to them is a cool little context-based mini-game thing that you have to do all sorts of strange things with your controller with. You don't technically have to do it in order to get the trophy, but you kind of do in a way. You need the highest level of mastery on the minigame to get the maximum amount of stars that's part of the deal, hence the trophy thing. Alas, that still isn't all that hard because if you're a fraud, like me, you can claim some sort of disability in the menus and just make all the QTEs into a single button thing, and that's why I said it's not technically something you have to do, but you kind of do. Takes the challenge out of it, I know, but you've got 21 of these to look out for, so I'm classing it as a laxative to sort of speed things up. If you keep an eye out and check everywhere you logically think there might be a toilet, then you'll be fine getting this, but no doubt some people will be running around South Park looking desperately for that one toilet they need, and, well, isn't that just the worst? The token experience is up next, and it's my old nemesis, the Missable Trophy. It's the one and only missable trophy in the game, so it's not so bad, but you can balls this one up right from the start, so it's kind of a bitch like that. When starting the game, you get a very unique difficulty selector. It's your skin colour. The blacker you are, the harder it is. You get it? So what you're going to want to do is go to be the blackest you can be, and voila, you're on very difficulty. But you're not quite done yet. A little bit later in the game you get into a fight with some 6th graders, at which point you're going to be asked your combat difficulty level. You're going to want to go with Mastermind, and now that we have everything set to the max challenge, just don't change anything. Play the game till the end and you'll get this one. Even with everything set to the max difficulty, as long as you don't underlevel and make use of the time fart abilities, especially the summon one, you're probably only going to run into 1, maybe 2 fights that are actually challenging. The one where you're fighting the whole gang of kids and the king come to mind, and another one we'll talk about later. Seriously, do not underlevel for this fight. I did, and you're stuck there so you can't go back and level up more, and I had to start a whole new game and make sure I did every side quest and every fight that came up. Don't be like me. It only requires you to complete the story as a black new kid, then you can change back to a white new kid, and you're going to want to do that for this trophy that's coming up next. Farts over Freckles, a trophy and a secret fight that I could bet that some of you didn't even know existed. Ladies and gentlemen, gaze upon Morgan Freeman. his glory, his courage, and his strength. Now try and find something that you don't like about him, and use that against him. Like, why are there no pictures of him young? Or why did he agree to do Evan Almighty? Whatever you think of is going to have to be good, as Morgan Freeman is by far the hardest fight in the game. With a whopping 9999 health and a 3-stage battle ahead of you, you're going to want to make sure that you're at least 800 plus power level before even attempting this. And to attempt it, you're first going to want to be white, as I guess Morgan Freeman won't beat up black kids. And secondly, you're going to want to have to make your way to Freeman's Tacos and just punch him for a bit. When it comes to the actual fight, I can only offer my tactics. I'm sure my brainlet power was as high as I could get it. Used a lot of plant status effects on him, stuns, bleeds, etc. Then made sure that I always had the time for summon so I could double my damage output. And as far as who to bring along for the fight, Callgirl's pretty good, Craig too, maybe. But anyone should do here. You'll be the main damage dealer, so someone who can heal you might also be a good idea too. When you're done, you'll get this silver trophy along with an artifact that I can almost guarantee that you'll never use. I mean, I know I didn't. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps is next on the list, a nice little bronze trophy that just requires us to loot the entire homeless camp. A little bit of an annoying one. If you've played the game or got the trophy, you might be thinking, that isn't hard, why has he done that? Well, let me tell you why. Now, I don't know if it takes into consideration the chests in the area, some that you do need later game abilities to get to, but it's not the chests the trophy is after. I later found that out to my despair. It's just these little annoying coins that are scattered all over the floor. Now, I'm not the sort of person who just jumps online to look up trophies until I'm truly stuck. I do try and work it out for at least like 10 minutes. But when you think of loot, you think of the chests that you've been collecting throughout the game and will collect throughout the rest of the game, am I wrong? Anyway, it's not over yet. There are 20 coins on the floor and some of them are either really hard to see or really hard to get into a position where you can actually loot them. I know what they were going for here, homeless people, change, taking it off them, ha ha ha. Yeah, I get all that, but out of it came this just annoying trophy. I don't know, I don't really have much more to say other than this one really annoyed me. It's just annoyed me for the sake of annoying me. I definitely want to know in the comments what your thoughts on this trophy is, because I'm wondering if I'm the only one or this actually is a thing. And finally, my friends, I give you the worst trophy in South Park Fractured But Whole, Boy Love Aficionado. Now, I've not watched South Park in quite a long time, literally since the Coon and Friends were first a thing. I don't remember when Tweak and Craig got the gay, which I'm cool with, that's not the problem. The problem is this. Look at these pictures and try and tell me that that doesn't make you somewhat uncomfortable. And it's not because of what's happening in the picture, it's because they're
4th graders.
They're supposed to be like, what, 11, maybe 7, 8, I don't know. This is just wrong. Yet, so artistically interesting. Yaoi is a Japanese art form apparently created by girls for girls, which seems kind of rude. I mean, I might want to get in on that. But it's generally making men romantic with each other. But did it have to be kids? Nah, I jest, it's got nothing to do with that. It's on the list because it's just the most demanding trophy in the game, if you ask me. Collectible wise, you have to find all 40 of these somewhat hard to see and reach pictures for Craig's dad, he wants them, I didn't ask. It's the only collectible in the game that I've had to use a guide to get, so when I came to the end and I was on 37 out of 40, it meant that I was missing 3, and rightly they were in places I didn't even know were places. I can't really give you any tips other than just to keep an eye out for these strange pictures lying around while you play, or just don't collect them at all and wait till the end and do it all in one go. I mean, you do sacrifice experience and rewards doing that, but that is a way of doing it. So that's the list for today. I now need you to go down to the comments and rate it. Tell me your list. If you agree with me, let me know, and if you don't agree with me, well, again, let me know. Fractured But Whole is what I feel the developers were going for when they were developing Stick of Truth. It's a lot edgier, plays a lot smoother, and is all around just a more fun game to play. So, whether you're going for the platinum or not, I'd still say it's worth a play, and considering at the time of this video's release you can get it from PlayStation Now as part of their bundle thing, what do you got to lose? My name, as always, is Never Really Mentioned, and I will see you in the next video looking at more bad trophies. Happy New Year, everyone, and here's to 2023.
Did you really think you could stop bad things from happening?